Welcome to the poll list for February 27, 2013, presented by longboxradio.com. This is the first poll list after a full year of poll lists and like a week and another week or two of poll lists that someone else from the podcast is joining me for the poll list. And lucky me, it's Rob, who doesn't pick up books on a weekly basis, so this is perfect.
Yeah, this will be nice and fast. This is a new leaf.
It's a new leaf.
Yeah.
That's right. It's right before the recording of episode 44, so that'll be coming out shortly after this. And it's just me and you, so we're going to hold down the fort, and we're going to see what we got today. All Marvel books. All Marvel books. I know there is...
any DC.
I didn't touch DC this week.
Really?
I'm learning.
Isn't the RIP issue out this week, though?
Of Batman Incorporated, which I wouldn't touch with a stolen eye. That's right. I wouldn't buy with a stolen wallet. Grant Morrison's Batman Incorporated number 8 is out today, and that apparently has the death of, spoilers, Damian
yeah.
in it. And apparently he does actually die.
He bites it.
He bites it, although he is from a family that owns many Lazarus pits to be resurrected with. So that's interesting. I hope that Mopey Batman doesn't transfer over into other books. I prefer my Bruce Wayne the way he is right now in Scott Snyder's Batman, where he's just kind of doing his own thing. He doesn't need to rely on the rest of his Bat family. And I mean, it's kind of a slap in the face to this amazing Joker storyline that just happened, where, hey, if you were going to have a death, that was it. And no, it didn't happen. And then Grant Morrison goes and offs Damian. And I mean, it's incorporated, so I assume he's just like shot to death by brigands. I don't know.
Brigands.
Not for me.
It won't happen like that.
I read the whole original run of Incorporated, then the first issue of the New 52 Incorporated, and it's just not my bag of tea. Mike hates Damian as a character.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Damian?
I'm impartial.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like him. He's inconsistent in that sometimes he wants to impress Bruce, and those are the best times of Damian, where he'll outstep his boundaries and he'll do something.
Forgive me, Father, for I've sinned.
Yeah. He'll do something. He'll do something bad, but it's with the greatest intentions. And then there's another time where he's being outright defiant. And that's fine if he started one way and became another way. But he flip-flops all the time.
He's 12 years old.
Yeah, but he's like a trained ninja.
Tell me that you didn't flip-flop.
When I was a trained ninja at 12, I never flip-flopped. I followed my dad's orders, and I didn't kill. And I wore the little shorts, and that was...
Here you are. No.
But no, I didn't get that. There's also a new image book out this week, which I forgot the name of, but the guy with the sword, you know the one.
Yeah.
I think it was already up to like $12 at the store. Also,
I told you to buy that.
From Vertigo, something else. Something else is going on. Man, we should do our research before these. Just sipping on beers. What happened? I don't remember. Anyway, let's go to Marvel Comics though, because I actually do have comics for them. Let me just get them in order here. This is a damn mess. Anyway, first up this week.
Oh my god.
Avengers Arena number 5 from Hopeless and Walker. This is the book that I talked about in the last podcast where it had no business being as good a book as it is. We have Arcade setting up a Hunger Games-esque island for all these like C and D list characters to run around in.
Really? Hunger Games. You don't throw back to Battle Royale for that.
I don't. But they directly reference Hunger Games in the first issue. It's like Hunger Games, and it didn't bury the lead. It's not like this is like Hunger Games and they're just no. Arcade shows up and he's like, it's an island of death, like the Hunger Games, and you're like, down. And then he starts just killing just 2 characters die per issue in this thing, so it's making you believe that this is not real. Maybe it's a hoax, maybe it's whatnot. And it's just Arcade trying to show heroes that they can be broken, they can become villains. But Darkhawk shows up, and Darkhawk's like the man, by the way. Dude just got guns, so that's cool. Dude just got guns, Lee. Avengers Arena. But no, looking forward to reading that one. Guardians of the Galaxy, of course. There's a movie, so we gotta have a book coming out too. That's number 0.1 right there, and that's from Brian Michael Bendis, Steve McNiven, and then 2 people I have never heard of before. Maybe they do a side story, or they stapled it together. I don't know, but there is a free digital code for that, so look for that after the podcast, after the episode here. This is what I do. I give away free books.
I saw. I actually watched last week's episode.
How terrible was that? That was a bad.
Trevin shaved.
Trevin did shave.
I'm a little upset with that.
He couldn't not flip through a Playboy while I was recording, so that's cool. Hawkeye number 8, of course, gorgeous cover there from David Aja. No one knows how his name's actually pronounced. It's kind of an urban legend.
Aha.
When he's David. When he's asked on Twitter, how is your name pronounced? He spells AJA. It's like, how's it pronounced? AJ.
Aja.
But great stuff. Issue 7 kind of had a little bit of a miss on the art, but the 7th one was the one where Matt Fraction took all the money he got from it, whatever that, all 15K. What do comic book art like writers make per issue? I mean, Hawkeye's a fairly successful book. What do you think? What do you think that paycheck is?
Well, you figure that what's a comic?
It's Fraction.
How much is that comic?
This book is $2.99. It's
$2.99. So
book.
probably $1.50 goes right to distribution.
Okay.
And then the rest of it's probably split up.
And 20 cents goes to Matt Fraction.
Yeah, 20 cents, but times that by how many issues? Is that?
200 and.
So let's say it sells 200,000 issues.
Okay, I doubt it did, but anyway, his paycheck went straight to Sandy Relief. So
right for that issue,
and that issue was about the hurricane actually. So kind of cool stuff. Has been a great book actually. I can't just take any character and just kind of make them relevant, like Hawkeye.
And also just put beautiful cover
and layouts. Like the panel layouts are ridiculous. Punisher Warzone, which I caught up on yesterday, and I'm incredibly disappointed in. The covers and the solicitations.
Let's just say solicits.
Okay, for the book, would have you believe Frank Castle's taken it to the Avengers?
I thought that was Superboy. And then I saw the skull.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
It is.
Crossover.
No, but Frank Castle does wear the Iron Man armor in issue 4, so and he knows how to control it, and it works.
Okay.
Because Tony Stark. Okay, hold on. I didn't realize how stupid this was until just now. Tony Stark, anybody can get in the Iron Man armor and fly it around?
It's intuitive.
Why would anyone else need to get into the Iron Man armor? He's built armor for anyone else.
I bet you if we watch Iron Man 3 on
it's
May
gonna
3rd,
make sense.
it's going to make sense to us.
On May 3rd, 2013, a theater near you. But what happens is, it's Rucka who was writing the Punisher series. Punisher took on a protege, if you would. In Cole Alves, I believe her name is, or something like that.
It's a girl?
It's a woman.
And
yeah.
her name is
her
Cole.
husband was murdered.
But her name is Cole.
Her last name.
Oh.
Cole, and then she hyphenated Alves with her husband's name.
Cole.
And he was very, of course, against taking her in, and he did anyways. Things went down. He had to kind of sever ties to her, but she was she's being prosecuted actually for like cop killing and stuff that. What? Okay. And Frank Castle's got nothing to do with her. He's not going to go back. She's getting the death sentence at this point. All the Avengers... The book centers around each of the Avengers taking their turn with Frank Castle and finding him.
Is this canon?
Yeah.
This isn't like...
This is a real book. This
Max
is... No, Punisher doesn't exist anymore. Now it's Punisher Warzone, and then it'd be Punisher Volume whatever comes next.
How old is Frank Castle now?
616. Frank Castle has to be in his mid to late 40s, canonically. How he's... Of course... Like Spider-Man should be like 110 or something like that, right? So I think Frank Castle is in his late 40s, if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, he is going around the world. He's doing what Frank Castle does. He's saving prisoners of war. He's saving little orphan kids. You know, he's feeding the hungry. He's turning loaves and fish into more loaves and whatever Frank Castle does on his daily basis. And the Avengers, first Black Widow comes to him and she's like, "Hey, Frank Castle. I know you don't want to have anything to do with this chick anymore, but she is very much going to get the death penalty. You need to intervene. Take the blame, and she'll live." And Frank Castle's just kind of blowing them off this whole time. And Frank Castle has something in mind. He's not, but each issue is like. Then Thor shows up, and Thor's like, "Hey, Frank Castle, let's split some beers. You should go back and say that." And then Captain America and Spider-Man show up. "Hey, Frank Castle, and anyways, Frank Castle somehow bamboozles Tony Stark into he takes his armor and he shows up at the courtroom impersonating Iron Man and ends up saving her, and then here we are in issue 5. So not the book I was expecting at all from Punisher Warzone. Also, you just finished a beer on the pull list. Not on the podcast, on the pull list. These average 5 minutes. We're going a little long now because there's 2 of us, but
wow.
I haven't even taken a sip. God, talk about this book a little bit.
Alright, up next we have The Superior Spider-Man, issue number 4. You can see that there. That
was actually out last week, but our comic book store didn't get any.
Well, that's not good.
That's ridiculous.
That's effing ridiculous.
Dan Slott and Giuseppe Camicolo. Camicoli? Camicoli. God damn it. I don't know about Superior Spider-Man. It apparently is not going to be around very long. Apparently, issue 10, stuff goes down.
I thought it was 8.
Apparently 10, I read.
I don't
Either way, in a few issues, it's not going to be around anymore.
From what Haynes told
me. Like Haynes, I will never stop reading this book. But that doesn't mean I can't have a negative opinion on it.
Spider-Man or that book?
This is not a good book. Superior Spider-Man, well, it was Amazing Spider-Man, which is now Superior Spider-Man. I was all gung-ho for just like change something up really, but it's not gripping. If there was Amazing Spider-Man and then this, was like a what if or something like that. Like I you know me, one of my favorite like little mini series of all time is like Flashpoint Batman, which everybody just hated, and I was just like, this is amazing. Thanks, buddy. Yeah. But yeah, even if that was the case, not a gripping book whatsoever. Kind of goes through the motions really quickly, blows their whole wad, as it were, right off the bat with any twist and stuff.
Controversial.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Superior. Yeah, but yeah, exactly. This is not for children. Wow. Send them out of the room. Mm-hmm. Boobies. So that is Superior Spider-Man.
I know it's going to be wicked.
I'm ready for the return of Peter. I don't know.
When you watch this video with the subtitles on.
That's right. It's going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, especially when you say boobies.
Really quick, there's a subtitle closed caption option somewhere below the video.
If it's not on.
If you click that, it is friggin' hilarious. Or just get a transcript of the thing. Mm-hmm. We talked too quickly for it to make any sense. Well, and a book that we both slammed last podcast, Young Avengers. I got the second issue.
You and Haynes slammed it.
We both did. Yeah, you didn't read it.
I don't read anything.
I got into like a text argument with Justin from Galaxy Comics about the first issue of Young Avengers. He loved it. He loved everything about it. I love the team on it for making quirky nonsense. Not necessarily writing established characters in canon at Marvel. So Kieran Gillen and Jamie McKelvey. Of course, Jamie McKelvey, we can't get enough of that guy here on the podcast typically. Gillen's an acquired taste. Phonogram, for as much as I like it, he has a very unique style of writing that also, like what I read of his Iron Man, was not for me. So while I like him, and I like what him and Jamie McKelvey can do together, they clearly have a synergy. I don't think this book is, as I hold up the book I just bought and criticize it. I'm going to give it another issue and we're going to see what happens. Hopefully, Kate Bishop, she deals with the rape in space that happened at the beginning of the last issue that no one really talked about. It happened. And then, of course, Wiccan and Hulkling will probably share another kiss. And then talk about sexual deviance, as most homosexual characters are forced to do in comic books. Did you know that? There's like a checklist. If you have homosexual characters, they have to, the first words when they come on panel has to be about their sexual orientation. Did you know that? It's a comic book code. That's a neo-comic book code.
I actually did know that.
That's true. Because you'll get confused. If I don't see Spider-Man kiss a girl, like if I don't see Peter Parker kiss a girl, I have no idea what a sexual orientation is, and that bothers me. I get upset. Anyways, I've talked about that enough on the last podcast that I just find it. I know these characters, right? I'm picking up Young Avengers. I know Wiccan. I know Hulkling.
I know them.
Yeah.
I like Iron Lad. Back when
Iron Lad is an excellent character.
Before he was King the Conqueror.
The Young Avengers are great characters, and they're drawn fabulous. Jim McKelvey's art is goddamn fantabulous.
Oh, that's
goddamn. But yeah, the writing is.
Is this your read list right now?
No, that's what I've read. I hadn't yet. See that up there too. Also has to be sorted out.
Jeez, you should see mine. My 2 read list is like this high.
That's right.
Off of your table.
It's like a midget.
Yeah,
that's right.
It's like
he can fall over and it crushes legs easily.
I really need more beer to make it through the rest of this night.
That's okay. Right. I would argue you might need less. But we're going to do a podcast coming up. There is some free codes coming up for Guardians of the Galaxy, Spider-Man, and that's it. That's all Marvel wants to give you this week. So those are coming up after the show. Other than that, look for the episode real quick. Clearly it's going to be a good belligerent podcast, so look for that.
We'll see.
That's it for the poll list this week? Right. Poll list.
The poll list. We have to do the poll list after.
We'll see you again. That's right. We'll see you again next week.
Bye.
Paul Walker.